everyone. Welcome to season 3 of Meraki Broadcasting Pod. We are happy to have you back with us. Thank you for listening in. So, today we are kicking off season 3 of going to be Black and Brown businesses, conversations centered around that, and current events and all that good kind of stuff. So, recently, this year, I've jumped into yet another business endeavor, and this time I have a business partner, and so we're going to talk to her today to kind of kick off the conversation about Black and Brown business. So stay tuned. Hey, so Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. They give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or your computer. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast so that it sounds great. And then they'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, all that. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So go ahead and download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, so just introduce yourself. Let us know who you are.
My name is Kayla, and I am the CFO for Black Women for Black Excellence. We are a startup company specializing in consulting startups and entrepreneurs with getting their business off the ground.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so I wanted to start off this new season of my podcast with like Black businesses and all that stuff. So I found that it was perfect. Why don't we just with our business? And so tell me from, I guess, when did we, May of this year? I think
May?
Or April, one or the other. But it wasn't too long ago. So when we first started, what made you want to kind of take the leap into entrepreneurship?
Well, I think us meeting was just almost meant to be. And I think it just came at the right time also with everything that was going on. I felt, at least for myself, that there was a call to action that I needed to do. In particular, why I wanted to do this is because everyone needs a helping hand. And as for a Black woman, we are always last to get that help and always afraid to ask. So I wanted to create almost a space, an area, a business that specializes in getting not only women, but people of color the resources they need to soar and be the best that they can be, and or to start their own business.
Exactly. And so touching on like the call to action, how do you feel about like the energy right now? Just like in general, like the world in general, the Black community, all that kind of stuff.
One thing I am seeing mainly on my social media is that this call, this resistance, whatever you want to call it, isn't over. While we had those instances that happened earlier in the year, we aren't done. There's still injustice going on. And I think now is the time where we said enough and we're not going to be quiet anymore about it. So I feel like as someone of color, even though my day-to-day is still going, everything that happened still happened, and it's still continuing to happen to this day. And we're not done until everyone's created equal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree, and especially agree with the call to action. It just feels, this year just feels different, and like everything's just hitting different. It's like, because I feel like we could have done this. I mean, we didn't know each other, but we could have done this last year. But I just don't think it would have felt the same, and I don't think there would have been this same like sense of urgency that there is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it feels the same, like I'm hoping that everybody picks up on that when they're like, coming to us for consultations and stuff. It's like, no, get this done now while the energy is right for it to be like successful, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, and I totally agree with that. The energy is different. I think now, since even though it's been very clear, it's very public
Yeah.
now compared to before. We are in a day and age where everything is on social media. You can't do anything without it being somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the reasons why now is the time. And especially with this movement of supporting Black businesses, create Black businesses, generational wealth, people are really trying to support that now, especially since we have all these different outlets between Facebook, Instagram, um, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. There's just so much more visibility on it.
Yeah, I agree. Um, where do you see Black business this time next year? Because like you said, the energy is different, but then it seems like there's just also a push for support as well where there wasn't before. If that makes sense. So where do you see us going, like the trajectory of where we're at right now?
I think it will keep going. And I think there'll be more businesses like us that are trying to support other Black owned businesses that would, we may not see anything within a year, but maybe within 5 years where some of the top businesses are Black owned because of this push that happened now.
Right. Yeah. I feel like for me, I feel like we're gonna see ourselves in higher positions of power. And I just want to get to a point where it's not a novelty to see a Black CEO. What do you think needs to happen to keep this momentum going? Or where do you think we need to focus on to make sure that we're in a not us, but like Black businesses are in a better position this time next year?
I think we need to focus our attention on getting the resources out there, not being distracted by, I almost want to call it the fluff
Mm,
of everything that's going on in the world. Yes, there's very important issues. We need equality. Things shouldn't be happening, but there clearly are.
right.
Um, but at the same time, we have to stay focused. We have to keep shouting that this is wrong. We have to keep shouting, like, why are you going shopping there when we have the exact same thing? Probably even better. There's a long history of a lot of things created by Black people or people of color have been stolen and taken and used by someone else not of color. So I think we really need to stand by our Black businesses.
Right.
And the moment that we falter is the moment that they'll take advantage of that.
Right. I, um, and for you personally, where do you see, like, what's your goals? You have twins. Like, where does this all come to a head for you?
Well, one, not being so mentally stressed out from taking care of twin girls and dogs and my husband. And then I'm still working my 9 to 5. Um, the one thing that really keeps me going is that I want what I do to have a purpose and to have meaning, to the point that where I wake up and I'm not just doing my 9 to 5. I'm waking up and every action that I do for this business is potentially helping someone else skyrocket and go to places that I can't wait to see.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been telling people because recently, and it's all your fault because the way I run my businesses by myself, I am so lazy. I'm gonna do bare minimum. We're gonna sell whatever we sell, and that's what it's gonna be. But then here come you. So I've been busier. And so like I'll be texting somebody, they're like, what are you doing? I'll be like working or whatever, because that just the word working encompasses so much for me nowadays. And so they're like, you're always busy. What's going on? Blah blah. I was like, literally, I'm doing all this right now so that I don't have to do anything next year. I'm not trying to do anything but watch me enter my bank account. That is it. Uh, so yeah, that's the coming to the head for me, is just that like I want to, because as you already know, I'm trying to move out of the country, but like I don't, the work harder, not smarter. I mean, smarter, not harder kind of thing. I just don't want, it's too much, and I want to get to the point where we can just post or helping people, where we're not like putting in hours up till 4 a.m. and finishing stuff type of stuff.
Well, that would be nice. Don't think I'm gonna let you off that easily.
Right.
When it comes next year, we're still gonna be working.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be
It'll just be a different project.
right. Okay. And what do you want to see? Like, so we did the Blackest Tech thing, which I thought was so dope. So where do you see stuff like that happening? Like, do you think we're gonna do you think Black people are gonna dive more into tech? Like, start or should we, if for that matter, or getting kids into STEM and stuff like that? Do you think that'll be like the kind of catalyst for more success with Black business?
So, not in particular Black in tech,
Mhm,
but other organizations have been around like that for quite some time.
mhm,
And I think now they're finally getting an audience that they can share all these resources, and explain why we need to get more Black men, more Black girls into tech. It is a field that is always booming. You will always have a need for technology. I mean, imagine 10 years ago, we were nowhere near
mhm.
this. What was it, MySpace back then? And now we have six. I'm a social media marketer because I manage my own
Mhm.
6 social media sites, and that's just something I do almost effortlessly. It's not like I wake up and say, okay, my job today is to post on Twitter and scroll through it for 30 minutes
Mhm.
and see what I like. We do that automatically, and that's just how our world has changed. And while we do that effortlessly, there's people behind the scenes that have to make sure it works. Matt, remember when Facebook went down for a half a day and how
Mhm.
upset the world was?
Right.
So imagine knowing that the people behind the scenes that fixed that issue was some little girl that happened to go to Black in Tech or any other STEM program, got interested, and was now the boss lady that fixed Facebook for the day.
Right.
So I do think it will only grow as the world grows.
Mhm. I agree, and I just hope that we continue to offer those opportunities, because obviously we're not going to be able to take on those roles if the kids didn't learn it, coming out of high school or before that, for that matter. Like I'm trying to get my son into this coding class. Yes, he's 9, but he does on his phone on accident, so might as well, do it on purpose and see where he goes with it. So what do you think, with the current climate, I guess you can say, of the world right now, with the racial stuff, where do you see us with this whole, like, all of that combined, like the racial stuff, but at the same time us becoming stronger as a Black community? Where do you think that's going to take us? Or do you think this might be a thing where it might backfire, because we're going to like get comfortable with the quote fingers progress, even though there hasn't been much?
I think that's honestly an open ended question that no one really knows the answer to. While we hope that this doesn't end, at the same time, the world keeps moving and it will pay attention to what it wants to pay attention to. So if like I said earlier, if we falter for a moment, then it will be gone. And that's how long it will take for something else to come up and grab the world's attention, and all the progress that we tried to make would be gone. Now, I get also how tiring it is. We are so tired as a culture, as a people, of having to say the same thing over and over again with no results.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know many of people that have had to take a break, especially from social media or the news, because it affects them so much and just seeing it every single day. Um, but we have to like bounce off each other. One day I'm not feeling up to it, then someone else needs to step up to the plate and make sure that it's still being said. And then once I get my rest, I'm back at it so someone else can take a rest. We just have to keep going if we want to see change. It's 2020 and we're still dealing with issues that from 19 whatever. So I think we have to stay dedicated to our movement for there to be change. And only if we do that will it stick.
Right. And that's the thing for me too, is like, what is success or winning in this type of situation even look like? I don't even know if we're sure. Like not even Black people, but any of us. So I'm interested to see where this all goes, because I'm not even sure, because it's been so long. I'm not sure. But yeah. And I guess my last question would be, where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go outside of BWBE? Like, what are some other endeavors that you've been thinking about?
Other endeavors that kind of stem from BWBE. Obviously, I want to help businesses get off the ground and thrive as best as they can. Um, but one of my main dreams, visions, is almost like a Black Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Perhaps some of the businesses that we helped have grown so much that they can start investing in other startups, entrepreneurs, companies, whatever. Um, and just how we see it on TV, we have our big bad sharks. You propose the idea, and we'll make you a millionaire.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down. But okay, so I guess you can, if you want anybody to like follow you and stuff like that, let us know your social media and stuff like that. And especially if anybody wants to collaborate with BWBE, I will link our website and everything like that in the on the episode.
Okay. You can definitely check me out on LinkedIn. That's definitely my professional um, profile with Shayla Gibson. Um, I believe my Instagram is Madam underscore Shay underscore. So go check me out there. I definitely follow back and can have some nice conversations going.
Awesome thought. Thanks for coming on, lady, being my victim.
Thanks for having me. You weren't too mean to me.
Exactly. All right, cool. So I might even have to bring you back on. I'm just saying.
I didn't agree to this. But no, I would love to come back on.
Awesome. All right. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.